Are you a Karen? Are you a Karen? Or are you a Chad? Do you know what that means? Are you a Karen? What is a Karen? A Karen. Well, those are names. Okay, I just mentioned two names. Chad and Karen. Chad is a male name. Do you know anybody named Chad? Or is your name Chad? I've known people who are named Chad. What about Karen? Again, I know people, very nice people, who are named Karen. It's a female name. Okay. So why did I say a Karen and a Chad? Because with names, we don't use articles, right? Articles are a, an, and the. Those are articles. We use articles with nouns like house, path. I'm walking on a path. Okay, I'm crossing a bridge. Hey, look at that. Look at those geese up there, guys. Look at the nice. What's nice? Look at the nice sky, guys. Isn't that's a nice sky? Okay, so we use articles with a lot of things, but not with names. Okay, my name is Mark. What's your name? Nice to meet you. Let's say your name is Bill. I would not say the Bill or a Bill. Okay, I'm going to a Bill or the Bill. Okay, we don't use articles with names. Unless it's in the situation like if there's more than one person named a certain thing, I don't know, that would be a rare situation. You wouldn't really use it there. I could say I'm a Mark. Okay, like let's say there's 5 people named Mark, 5 people named Bob, 5 people named Jim. And you ask me, hey, which one are you? I could say I'm a Mark. But that would be that wouldn't be a common situation, okay? We don't use articles with names, okay? So if I say, are you a Karen? Or if I say that person is a Karen, she's a real Karen. What do I mean? Well, you know that it must have some meaning. We're not talking about a particular person. We're talking about a meaning. Okay, so this name has taken on a meaning. The word Karen, now these words are not related, Chad and Karen. I just heard them recently in different YouTube videos. I've heard these words a lot. They're completely different words. They're not related to each other, but they're both people's names. That's why I wanted to make a video about this, okay? Have you heard these words before? So, a Chad. What is a Chad? A Chad is a male. Guys, look at that nice hockey rink there. Isn't that beautiful? All the snow around there, and then you just got the clean, like, slab of ice. That is awesome. Okay, so a Chad is a man who is, it's a good word. Okay, Chad is a good word. It's a man who is confident, successful, good looking. Are you a Chad? Just a man who's like, sometimes you hear the term alpha male. An alpha male is a man who is like, one of the, confident, strong, good looking, everybody, wants, usually influential too. Okay, like alpha males, they might be the leaders of a, I don't know, they might be a CEO or the leader of their class. And if you're a student, maybe you take leadership, maybe everybody likes you, everybody desires you, you're popular with women, right? Then you're a Chad, okay? So, let me know in the comments, are you a Chad? I don't know if I'm a Chad, guys. I don't think I'm a very I don't think I'm a Chad, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you think I'm a Chad? So that's what that means. Where did that come from? I don't know. I have no idea. Sometimes words just kind of suddenly get new meanings, and you know, people don't usually investigate why a word means what it does. They just kind of accept it. They learn the meaning and they accept it. Right? Like a few weeks or months ago, I made a video about the word based. Based. Again, that's a very new word that, you know, people have started using a lot. Do I know where it came from? No idea, right? Most people don't care to do research on like the history of words and why do we say this word or why do we use that word, okay? So it's not really important to know the history. It's more important just to know the meaning, right? What do people mean? So if someone says he's a Chad or she's a Karen, what does that mean? Right? That's what you want to know, right? So Karen, unfortunately, these days has a negative meaning. Now, I don't know why, because Karen is a nice name. I like the name Karen. I've known a few Karens in my life, and they're very nice people. So it's unfortunate that the name Karen has gotten a negative meaning. Guys, look at those nice geese. Wow. Yeah, it's a nice winter day. Spring is almost here, guys. It's actually still a bit cold. I thought it was going to be warmer out here. Ooh. I need to go warm up inside my house, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad, guys. So, Karen. A Karen. What does this mean? A Karen is a woman. Well, let's look at Google, okay? I looked it up before making this video, and this is what Google told me, okay? What does Karen mean? Karen is a pejorative slang term. Okay, pejorative means it's a bad word. Like it has a negative meaning. It's like if you call someone a jerk, or if you call someone stupid, or if you call those are negative words. Those are bad things to call people, right? That's what the word pejorative means. A pejorative means a word that is, you know, that it doesn't have a nice meaning towards someone. So something you call someone with ill intent. Okay, if you have ill intent, that means you don't have good intentions toward that person. Like if I call you stupid, that means I don't like you, right? I don't have good intentions toward you. Okay, so so this word is a pejorative. Okay, so what does it say? It's a slang term for an obnoxious, angry, entitled, and often racist middle-aged white woman who uses her privilege to get her way or police other people's behaviors. Okay, so that's an interesting definition. So if you think about a woman who's just kind of annoying and always maybe wants to get her way, like imagine if you see someone in a restaurant and they're complaining about something tiny, some little thing, and I want to speak to your manager, right? Let me talk to your manager. I'm not happy about this, or they're just annoying. It's kind of what the word obnoxious means. It's kind of stupid and like annoying, and they're not pleasant people to be around. Okay, guys, let's go back up on the path. Just came down here to let the people pass who were walking. Oh, there's some more people, guys. Just my luck. All right, if you get unlucky, you can say just my luck. That means you're unlucky. Right, couple more geese there. All right, so do you know any women like this? Now this is particularly, this word is it's talking about women. Okay, men are the same. Men can be the same way. Right now, I don't know what the male name I don't know what the male equivalent would be for this. I think people also use the word Karen for males. I think I've heard that online too. He's a real Karen. Maybe. I don't know. It could be that, probably. So yeah, it just means someone who's annoying, who's, and I don't know why it is why it has to be a white person. Karen is very often like a white person's name. I mean, in your country, like I know a lot of people from other countries, and I've never met anybody named Karen from like India or China or other places. So it's kind of a typical woman's name, and maybe that's why it became the word Karen, because it's a common name for, like, it's a common Canadian female name, or like American name, right? So maybe that's why, just because it's a very common name. Just like the word Mark is a common male name. But like I said, Karen is a nice name. So it's unfortunate that the word Karen has now recently taken on a new meaning. So probably not very many parents will name their daughters Karen, because probably most people now know that it has that negative meaning. It's a slang word, right? So you could say she's a real Karen. It's kind of like similar to the term first world problems, right? First world problems are problems that are really minor, and if you make a big deal out of small problems, it's just kind of like, it shows that you're arrogant, right? And so I don't know, like if a woman is just making a big deal out of first world problems, you could call her a Karen. Like, imagine if you're at like if you're in a drive-through. Let's say you're going through a drive-through at a restaurant, at like McDonald's or something, and let's say the workers inside made some mistake, right? I don't know, some tiny little mistake. Like they didn't put ketchup. Let's say, they put the little packs of ketchup in your bag, Let's say they forgot to put ketchup in, right? And the woman, let's say she pulls around again through the drive-through and starts shouting at the McDonald's worker, "You forgot ketchup, you stupid idiots. Yeah, I want to talk to your boss. I'm going to report you, and I'm going to get you fired from McDonald's for forgetting to put ketchup in there." That would be like an example of a Karen, right? It's not a big deal. Now, I do like ketchup. Maybe it is a big deal. If they forgot, if McDonald's workers forgot to put ketchup in your bag, would you go back through the drive-through again? Because when you get your bag, the McDonald's workers, the drive-through workers, they give you your food and then you drive away. Let's say you drive away and then you check your bag to see if everything's there. Let's say they forgot to put ketchup in there. Would you go back through the drive-through again and ream them out? To ream someone out means you yell at them and you're very angry. You're angry because of some mistake that they made. Okay, so would you ream out the McDonald's workers for forgetting to put ketchup in your bag? I wouldn't, guys. As much as I like ketchup with my French fries, I wouldn't ream them out. It's a small mistake. It's nothing to get really that worried about. But that's kind of what first world problems means, right? Many people around the world don't have enough food to eat. And if you don't have ketchup, it's like, is that such a big deal? Well, for a lot of people, for Karens, yeah, it is a big deal. And they would go back and they would probably they'd probably talk to the boss of the owner of the McDonald's and try to get all those workers fired for such a stupid little reason, right? So that's what Karen means. Yeah, so I just wanted to give you those two examples to show you how names can actually become like words, normal words. Okay, so the word, when we call someone a Karen, you're calling someone something bad. You're not talking about a name. Okay, so this has nothing to do with it. If I say you're a Karen, I'm not calling you Karen. I'm not saying your name is Karen. I'm saying you are, that type of person. That type of person, right? So anyway, that was just the point of this video. Let me know, did you know, have you ever heard those words before, Chad and Karen? Now, there are other names too that have taken on meanings. For example, I think in my New Year's video, I mentioned the name Jezebel. The name Jezebel, that was a woman in the Bible. Okay, a very evil woman. Okay, so if you call someone a Jezebel, then you're saying that person, like a woman, is really evil, really bad, right? She's just a wicked woman, right? So that's why people don't name their kids Jezebel. I guarantee you, none of the families who live here, 0% of them have daughters named Jezebel. Why? Because it's taken on a bad meaning, right? Maybe back in those Bible times, maybe it was a common name. I don't know. Okay, so names can become words, normal words that we use in real life. But you know what, guys? I think it's concerning. I think it's a sign that our empire is doomed. Why? Why do I say this? Because when words start changing meanings, I think that is one indicator that a society is coming to an end. Okay, when suddenly words, the definition of words start changing, and suddenly like the meaning of language kind of gets thrown into question. If something gets thrown into question, that means like, you don't really even know what things mean anymore. Okay, so if normal words and normal names get suddenly like, if things start to change their meaning, that's a sign, I think, that's a sign of arrogance. And it's a sign that society is coming to an end, like the empire is going to collapse. At the height of the German Empire in the mid-1900s, the mid-20th century, right? That was pretty much the height of the German Empire. 1900s and 20th century mean the same thing. Okay, a lot of people don't know how to say dates. If you say let's say we're talking about the years around 1930, 1950, 1960. Okay, we can say the mid-1900s, or we can say the mid-20th century. So because the 20th century was from 1900 to 2000. You can call that the 20th century. Okay? So at the height of the German Empire in the 20th mid 20th century, right? Maybe around like the 1930s and stuff. The people in that empire were changing the meaning of words. They were changing the definition of words, rewriting dictionaries. Right? So when a country tries to do this, and very often empires try to rewrite history and try to rewrite things according to the way they want them to be. Right? It's arrogant. It's saying, I'm the boss, I'm in charge, so I can say whatever I want. Right? I can change even my family tree. Right? Let's say my great-grandma was from a race that I am ashamed of or I don't like for some reason. And that's what also was the case in the German leadership at the time, right? They were doing weird stuff. They were changing you know, they were trying to change everything. Why? Because they were arrogant. They wanted things to be the way they wanted them to be. So what does it say? You know, what does it say in the Bible? It says pride comes before a fall. What does that mean? It's a very common saying. People say it all the time, even if they probably don't know it comes from the Bible. But and very often people use it in the Old English way to say it. They say pride cometh before a fall. Cometh is the Old English way to say comes, right? So pride comes before a fall. What does that mean? It means when you get arrogant, that's when you're going to collapse. That's when you're, you know, it could be a person, it could be a company, it could be a country, right? Imagine if a company says, we're doing the best. We own this whole industry. You know, we're the most successful company in this industry. They're very prideful. They're probably going to collapse, right? Many big companies have just come to a sudden end. I remember back when I was a teenager, there was a company called Nortel Networks, I think here in Canada, in Alberta, I think it was. A big company, Nortel Networks. And suddenly, I don't know if it was sudden or I can't remember what the circumstances were around that company, but they just, I mean, it was like way down, and suddenly they weren't a company anymore. So it's like big companies have just, you know, suddenly become obsolete. Obsolete means, you know, nobody cares about them anymore. They're just done. They're finished, right? I'm sure even big restaurants, like, you know, imagine if a restaurant says, we make the best hamburgers. We're the best. Well, you know, maybe that's not a good idea, because very often pride comes before a fall. And that's what happened with the German leadership, right? That empire, their empire was really arrogant, and they came to an end. They collapsed. It was pretty sudden, you know, from probably the years, you know, I don't know, 1943, 1944, those years, like, you know, they made a lot of mistakes, and they made a lot of mistakes because they were arrogant. They could have won. They really could have won. If they had been more humble, they probably would have won, but they were arrogant. And one of the signs of their arrogance was that they changed the meaning of words. Look, a person can't just say, oh, I don't like the meaning of that word. I'm going to change that word to mean this. You can't do that, right? If you do that, it's arrogant, and it shows that your society, I think, this is my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think I'm right on this? That if you suddenly go start changing the dictionary and changing words to mean what you want them to mean, is that a sign that your society will fall, will come to an end? I do believe that. But let me know if you disagree. If you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. So, you know, I'm concerned about our society. Guys, it's cold. I can't even talk. Now my lips are freezing, and look, the sun's already set there, guys. I better go back before I freeze to death. It's really not that cold. I'm not going to freeze to death, but it's a bit cold, guys. So I'm going to start walking back. But, yeah. So, what was I saying? Forgot what I was saying. Something about society. Oh, yeah. You know, I'm concerned about our society. I think our society is literally on the brink of total collapse. You know, I don't know whether it's going to be slow or whether it's going to be fast, or how fast it's going to be. But I have a feeling that it's going to be sudden, and it's going to be fairly drastic. Like a drastic. It's not going to be like a gradual. Those geese agree with me. Our society is coming to a dramatic end, which I do believe, by the way. You know, I have a friend who told me, this is a long time ago, she said she thought the US empire would come to a gradual, she said it would decline gradually until it became kind of like an average European country. Okay, so she was thinking the US, you know, the US has been over the past 100 years a very strong country, right? People have viewed the US as the biggest superpower in the world. And so she said it would gradually decline until it became maybe a country like, I don't know, like Sweden or whatever. I don't agree with that. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a huge collapse, and it's going to be fairly sudden. I don't know how, because we're already seeing this, right? You know, if you think about the Titanic was the unsinkable ship, right? People said there's nothing that will ever sink the Titanic. Well, again, there's an example of pride cometh before a fall. Or in this case, pride cometh before a sink. It sank, right? How fast? I don't know. Let me know if you know how. I mean, from the time when the Titanic struck the iceberg to the time it was completely underwater, how many minutes, or what was the duration there? I don't know. So very often things are declining, and then suddenly they're gone. And like a boat, let's say, it might be sinking slowly, but it gets to the point where suddenly it's just gone underwater. It goes really quickly. So I would say we are already seeing, guys, there's a crying kid over there. I'm gonna walk this way until the crying kid is gone, so that you don't get annoyed. Do you get annoyed by the sound of crying babies? Guys, I don't know. Like, there have been times when I'm on a plane and there's just crying kids the whole time. I'm just like, I don't know what it is about the sound of a crying child. I just don't like it. It just makes me feel like I'm just helpless in that situation. I can't do anything. I don't know, maybe it's just because if people are in distress for some reason, I like to be able to somehow change the situation. And if I can't do anything to change the situation, then I get a bit stressed out about that. So, and maybe that's why crying kids, if I can't do anything about it, right? They're just crying. It's like, it just makes me feel like I don't want to be there. Don't want to be in that environment. Anyway, guys, are you the same way, or are you different? So, what was I saying about the Titanic? Yeah, so things can go down very slowly, and anybody with half a brain who's looking at the US empire right now, anybody can tell that the US empire is in decline. It is getting worse, and if you can't see it, you're blind. It's going down, and it's going down fast. So there's going to come a point where it just collapses. And the scary thing is that, like, I'm here in Canada, right? Canada is part of the US empire. That's why we don't have any weapons. We don't have anything of our own. Why? Because we wouldn't be allowed to make them. I think if Canada tried to make some large weapons, the US wouldn't allow us. They would say, no, you have to buy them from us. You can't make your own. Right? That's why all the countries in Europe, They don't have their own weapons. They're allowed to make small weapons, but if a country like Germany suddenly wanted to make large weapons, the US wouldn't allow them, guys. Why? Because Germany is a state of the US empire. It's a vassal state, right? The word vassal means it's a kind of a province, or like a lesser, it's a part of an empire, right? So Canada is a vassal state of the American empire. For people who think otherwise, they're just dumb. Guys, there's no point in being, there's no merit in being dumb. So don't be a dumb human being, guys. So yeah, you know, for people who live in the American empire, like if you live in France, if you live in Germany, Italy, Canada, Australia, you know, when the ship sinks, people jump off. That's the thing. When people jump off and how they get off, it's, you know, is it going to be like nice and tidy? No, it's going to be messy. It's going to be real messy. So how everything actually shakes down, I don't know how it's going to be, guys. I think about this every day. Let me know, do you think about this stuff every day? I try to think about it. I try to predict. I don't know. I'm not a prophet. I can't predict the future, but I can see the signs, and I can, I think I can say very certainly that something is going to happen. Nothing will not happen, guys. For people who think, oh, nothing's going to happen. No, nothing will not happen. Something will happen. And I think this could be the last year of the American empire. Certainly the NATO alliance, I think it's done. It's I can't see it lasting more than this year. I think next year a lot of things are going to be major things are coming, guys. Major events are coming. They're coming down the pike. Maybe my next lesson I'll teach you guys the idiom coming down the pike. All right, remind me down in the comments. I'll teach you that. But anyway, that's enough of my geopolitics. You're probably sick and tired of hearing about my geopolitics, guys. But I just wanted, when I was talking about the words, the meaning of Karen and Chad, I started thinking about changing the meaning of words, and how that was one of the signs of the German Empire before it collapsed. We are on the sinking Titanic, guys. I'm telling you that we're on there. Now, I'm not saying what you should do about it, because I don't even know what to do about it. Where should I go? What should I do? I don't know. Let me know if you have some advice for me. What are you gonna do? If you were on the Titanic, what would you do? Would you go down with the ship, or would you bail? If you bail, that means you get off. You bail overboard. You just jump off into the cold water. And then what? So that's my view of the American Empire. It's not going to be nice and tidy. When the German Empire collapsed remember in 1945, when was the exact time that it collapsed? Which was the day that the German Empire collapsed? Well, I don't know, maybe that's debatable. There were certain things, maybe certain battles that were won, or certain things that happened. And it's like, the writing was on the wall for a long time, for a while, before it actually finally came to an end. But at the very end, it wasn't pretty. It was, people were jumping ship. People were, there was carnage, guys. Carnage. It means just, I don't know, just a lot of, like a bloody mess, basically. So guys, there's my doom and gloom for you today. Give me a like if you love my doom and gloom messages while I teach you English. I'm a doom and gloom English teacher, right? Doom and gloom just means a person who's kind of always negative, who always thinks about the worst possible things that can happen, and the collapse of society, the collapse of the world, the end of days, right? So I'm a doomsdayer, guys. That means a person who's always thinking the world is going to end. You can call them a doomsdayer. So guys, with that, just let me know your thoughts. I'm actually interested to hear your thoughts on the geopolitics of the world, what's happening in the world, what you think the future of the American empire is going to be, how you think Canada's going to, what's going to happen to Canada, you know, how are things going to shake down? Yeah, let me know your thoughts. And as always, I appreciate all your support. Thank you for your comments and for always smashing like, and yeah, thanks for being my friends, guys. Really appreciate it. Even if you have different views, I'm not, you know, I'm very sure I'm right on this. I could be wrong, but guys, like, I think I'm right. I'm pretty sure I'm right. So, you know, but if you have different opinions, let me know down in the comments. And with that, I'll wish you all the best. As always, I love you. Loud truck there. Guys, with that, wish you all the best. As always, I love you so much. Hope you're staying safe, healthy, and happy wherever you are. Hope it's nice and warm in your country. It's freezing here in Canada. Anyway, I'll go warm up, and next time I'll teach you coming down the pike. All right, guys, take care, and I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Bye for now.